Hey, welcome back. All right, so me and the family were out in the old Suburban yesterday and started acting up. Started losing power when you give it gas. And you let off the gas and it'll idle fine. Give it a little gas and it sputtered, and it seemed like it didn't like you touching the gas pedal. Well, little gears in the head started turning and start thinking, I think fuel pump's going out in this thing, and pretty sure that's the case. Well, after about 30 seconds of that, touch the gas, kind of sputtered, let off, recovers, touch the gas again, sputtered, let off, and then we drove about 5 miles with no problems. Pulled into a parking lot, did a U-turn. We were looking at car dealer lots. And started doing it again. I started trying to get up. I was trying to get home at that point. Started entering the highway, and boy, it did not want to go. Thought we were going to have to call a tow truck. I pulled over. I never turned it off. It never totally stalled. Every time it started running like crap, I'd let off the gas, and it would idle fine. So I put it in neutral and let it sit for a few minutes, just sitting there idling on the side of the expressway with the family freaking out. And us kind of brainstorming, all right, we're going to have to call my buddy with a tow truck, and somebody's going to have to come pick us up because we can't all fit in the tow truck. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, we made it home. It recovered, and I was able to limp it home. It did go into limp-in mode. So the check engine light was flashing when it was doing that stuff because it was running lean. Then it stuck it in limp-in mode, which sticks it in like second gear, makes it hard to take off. You can't go real fast on the highway. Second or third gear, I can't remember what gear it sticks it in. Probably third. So we limped it home, and here it sits. It was late in the evening yesterday. Then we had a huge thunderstorm last night. It lasted for hours, so I didn't fool with it last night other than reading the codes in the computer, and it exactly what I thought. It had lean codes on bank 1, lean codes on bank 2, had a multiple misfire code, and it had some transmission codes from when it stuck it in limp in. So what I'm going to do, we're going to run a fuel pressure test on this thing today. These things, these older vehicles still have Schrader valves. So right here, there's a cap, and it's a test port for the fuel rail, and we can hook up a fuel gauge right there and read fuel pressure, and that's exactly what we're going to do. A fuel gauge, a fuel pressure tester set. You can probably rent one or borrow one from like a local auto parts store. I know like O'Reilly's and places like that will loan tools or rent you tools. So that's an option because these kits can get expensive. I bought this one a few years back. I haven't used it a whole lot. It comes with lots of different adapters and whatnot. This is a Lang Tools. I think you can get it online pretty cheap, $150 or something maybe. I don't know exactly how much they cost. I can't remember. This one is a little bit overkill for a backyard mechanic, but and that's all I am now. So it's got a Schrader valve port. It has a pressure release button where you can release the pressure, and I'm hoping I'm going to drain the fuel into that if we have to put a fuel pump into this, that's just a gas caddy that I used to have for my camper. This thing has 3/4 tank of fuel in it right now, and in order to take the fuel tank out of this thing and remove that pump, we need to get a lot of the fuel out. I like it to be a 1/4 tank or less. The smaller amount of fuel in the tank, the better, because it'll make a huge mess, and it's a lot harder to deal with the tank when it's got a ton of fuel in it. So we're going to try to drain as much fuel out if we decide we have to put a fuel pump in this thing, which I'm almost 100% positive we need to do. But we're going to run a fuel pressure test first and see what it looks like. I'm going to take an 8mm and remove this little fancy pants cover. That's all it is. just to hide that ugly truck intake on these little LS motors. All right, get a little better shot on this fuel rail now. Oop. Make sure we got a good connection, because we don't want this thing leaking fuel everywhere. All right, I'm gonna jump in and fire this thing up. Got good pressure for now. We're gonna let it run for a while and see if we lose pressure. My guess is when it starts getting hot, it's gonna start dropping off. Although we made it quite a long ways, probably 10 miles home from where we were after it acted up, when it cleared up. So it may take a while for it to act up again. It may not act up again, but we're thinking about taking this thing to Florida in a few months, or next month. And if we do that, I'll be worried about this fuel pump the whole time, so stay tuned. All right, so it's been running for about 30 minutes. It's maintaining pressure, although we're not giving it any load. And under load is when we were having a problem before, but I wanted to get everything good and warmed up. And I want to show you a little feature that this thing has. So if you push this button on the side of this fuel pressure gauge, it will shoot the gas through this tube. So you can take a sample and see what your fuel looks like, and we're going to do that right now, and I'll show you how you do it. All right, so I'm going to take a water bottle, put my hose in it, of course, and we're going to push the button. Look at that dirt. See that change colors like that? I wonder if we just got some bad gas. See how it was clear and then it got dark? That was interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. All right, we're gonna do that again. Clear. Not as dirty, not as stained looking as that first run. All right, so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to position the fuel pressure gauge up on the windshield and shut the hood, and we're going to go for a test drive. All right, so I didn't fully close the hood, but it's on the first click, and I'm not going far. But I used painter's tape. I didn't want to close the hood all the way because I didn't want to mash my hose. Got it taped up there so we can see it. See the pressure. Still the same, about 60. And we'll go for a drive. We test drove it and never acted up again. Hair on this lens. So we test drove it, never acted up again, and it's the craziest thing. I mean, this is about 2 weeks later that I'm filming this little outro here, because it's been running every day. My wife's been driving it to work every day. I've been telling her just keep it under a half a tank of fuel, just in case it acts up again. I got to pull it out. I won't have to pump as much gas out, but I thought for sure we were gonna have to do a fuel pump in the old Suburban, but it just hasn't acted up again. I mean, we were parked on the side of the road on the highway and it would only idle. Touch the gas, it would try to die. Check engine light would flash. And then it finally cleared up and we made it home, luckily. But yeah, well, if anything, you've learned how to hook up a fuel pressure tester and run a fuel pressure test. So between about 55, 60 pounds, 50 to 60 pounds, typical on most cars that are fuel injected. Some require a little more. The older ones sometimes required a little less. Just depends on how much power it makes and how much volume and pressure it requires. So I don't know if you got anything out of this, but if you did, hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate you watching. Bye.